Hey, I'm Andrew Hales. Welcome to another edition of Chatting With. Today I'm here with Rav Dror.
Drawer, yes.
Dror. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It's a privilege.
Let's see, Hasidic Rabbi.
Well, there is much more than the title. The meaning of the word rabbi in the beginning was a way to respect people. It's like you say Mr. or Lord, or it's a title. So I'm not like the mainstream rabbi that you can find in the streets, but I have thousands of students that are calling me rabbi. So that's how I became a rabbi. I'm just teaching.
How is Hasidic different from the normal Judaism?
So there was a very known, famous, and righteous man. His name was Rabbi Israel Baal Shem Tov, and that guy was the head of this section in Judaism that is called Hasidut. And he made a huge difference in the Jewish world in the aspect of letting the individual have a place because of the qualities of their spirit, of their soul as individuals, even if they are not a huge scholars, learners, or wealthy or rich or famous or known, or like just because that you are a child of the Creator. So the Creator has a place for you, and it means that you are important. In the generations before, if you wouldn't be a known scholar, a famous person, like a real knowledgeable one, you wouldn't meant anything to no one. Like no one would care about you. When if you achieved levels, you would be someone. And the simple people didn't have anything. So that Baal Shem Tov, righteous man, Rabbi Israel, he was recognizing the good in the people, and he loved and expressed that love to his followers, to the communities that he met.
It's the why
the outfit.
Sure, yeah, I don't know, yeah, the braids and everything, yeah.
We have certain obligations that are written in the Bible, but on top of the obligations, there were customs that in a traditional way just attached to us.
Okay.
So the obligation from the Bible is on 5 certain points in the face, 2 here, and 1 in the chin. So those 5 we're not allowed to shave with a razor. Now the custom that I'm following is just to let it grow.
Were your parents
religious?
Yeah.
No.
Really?
Oh, that's a story.
Wow.
Yeah.
You weren't born into it?
No, not at all. I'm born Jewish, but a secular family.
Okay.
And
they were already the normal kind of Jewish.
They are like they're not observant. They're not keeping any of the obligations.
Okay, they weren't active. Yeah.
They were not active religious at all.
Okay.
They were not keeping the 7th-day Shabbat. They were not putting tefillin. None of the things that Jewish religious are doing. Not eating the kosher food. Nothing. And it was an adventure. Like when I told him, hey, I was 20, and I decided to make a change in my life. And I also already met my wonderful wife, and together we were on that way of establishing our new way of life, and it was not accepted.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Because that's what happened to me. When I started searching, I was not searching for Judaism. I was not searching for religion. I was searching for myself. Because as a kid, I was clubbing, I was dating, I was drinking. I had a bike, a Kawasaki 500, and I had a Jeep of Jeep, a real one. And like I had fun. I had tattoos and piercing, everything.
Wow.
Yeah, spikes, bright blue Oakley sunglasses. Like you'll be surprised. I look much more like you than myself in those pictures.
Wow. Okay. So you had this crazy lifestyle before 20, and your parents weren't actively religious, and but their parents were And
We are Jewish in our like family tree,
Right.
Always Jewish.
Okay. I mean, why did you feel like you had to? Do you know why you felt like you had to go the extreme route?
So my father asked me the same question: why you're being so extreme?
Yeah.
But I told him I'm not being extreme. I'm being honest. I felt not comfortable with who I was as a person.
Mm-hmm.
Just like my friends would call me and tell me, "Hey, do you want to go out? Let's do something." And I felt no,
Mm-hmm.
but I would go.
Oh yeah. You want to fit in.
You call it normal, but it's crazy. It's crazy that you cannot be yourself and keep on flowing in that stream of denying your true self, of doing things against your inner peace, inner relaxation, inner understanding of who you want to be.
They don't try to convert people, right?
There are people that out of the blue, like people from Mexico, people from Egypt, people from different nations, from not Jewish, and they have an inner passion to Judaism. They love it. They feel connected, and they are willing to convert. Their heart desire to convert, and when they're asking me if they should or what to do or to give them advice, I don't know. I don't feel like they should, even if you ask me.
Really?
Because the Creator, I think, that's our belief. He's wiser than us. He sees the whole picture. Like, he knows exactly what's the essence and purpose of the reason of creation, of every creation and creation, every individual. So he knows exactly why he made you to come out to this world in that nation and belong to that community. It doesn't necessarily mean that you must follow it, but it doesn't also mean that you need to change and to convert and to become different. So you can learn and teach, but you don't need to change. That's actually the main thing that I'm telling in the world right now. There are obligations and there are rules and regulations, but first of all, there is a creator. Like, that's your starting point. You believe that there is a creator. Now, based on that, you start following his advice, his commandments.
How do you know it's his advice?
Exactly. So if you don't know if he's exist, or if you don't feel in touch or connected, so I tell you, don't do anything. Like, don't go in that path. If you don't feel like something from inside is pulling you to do or to attach yourself to it, are you crazy to go against yourself? So my answer is no.
You're very live and let live, yeah.
I must say that also weed helped me a lot in those days.
Weed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it opened my eyes. Today I'm not smoking for many years. I'm not touching it. But back then, it opened my mind. I was smoking and
as well as like LSD and shrooms, or
thank heaven, I was too scared to try LSD because I felt that it will take me to a place that I wasn't sure that I'll come back. Like, why to take that risk for that pleasure, for that satisfaction? So I felt like not for me.
So weed kind of made you want to get more religious?
No, weed just made me more connected to who I am. I start thinking loud. I was able to hear my inner thoughts, and they were very meaningful. And then my connection to Judaism started. Like, I was wondering, what does it mean that you're Jewish? 20 years of my life I was not thinking. I was just like driving.
Yeah.
And then I started thinking, and then I said, okay, so what does it mean? So I said, okay, the Bible. And I read the Bible, like from A to Z.
I still need to do that.
It's a great book. You
Yeah.
know, it's the bestseller.
Right. Yeah. It's the number one. Yeah. You still do Hanukkah?
Yeah.
What's the purpose of Hanukkah?
Hanukkah is an amazing story, first of all, that is showing to us how the power of individuals, of small amount of people, can make a huge change in the world. In those days, the temple was built, and the Jewish were living on their land, the land of Israel, and there were so many nations that were trying to shake the stability of our people, and the fact that they were a very small amount of people that were ready to fight made them very scared. But they decided not to give up and not to surrender, even though that they felt like, oh, we're about to lose. And they rebelled and they fought and they won.
Okay.
And I think the candles of Hanukkah as a memory to advertise the miracles that can take place in the life of an individual, that even if you feel that you're weak and that the world is so like huge and or dark or whatever, scary, if you will believe in yourself, there can be miracles for you.
Okay.
I believe in that.
Yeah.
People don't want their life to be controlled by other people. So I understand why there is a fear from religion. But when I was looking for religion, I came from a very honest place of like curiosity. I just like felt like, hey, what is it all about? What does it mean that I'm Jewish? And I liked it. I loved it. What that I'm doing, even though that I'm a religious Jew, is something very unique and beautiful and different. Because what that I'm doing is helping every individual with no connection to his religion and to his tradition and to what he belongs to, where he belongs to find the treasures that are treasured inside of him in the nature of his creation. Many of my students, I guided them to go into directions that looks like opposite of mainstream religion.
Okay, what if someone wants to be a serial killer?
No, chas v'shalom. Of course, chas v'shalom means God forbid. And of course that, like I told you, the beginning of our faith is that the power of our spirit is coming from a good source.
Where do you think evil comes from?
I think that evil comes from our fears. I think that people that been hurt by society, been hurt by other people that became violent because of their fears, because they themselves as well been hurt by society, they're creating that fear in the world. We must deal with our fears and not to let them control our free choice, and we can choose to be good people. And I think that's the greatest thing of them all, to allow your goodness to be revealed.
Why do you think some people lose the battle? Yeah, and do you think mental illness plays a role in it?
First of all, there are mental illnesses. There are people that are very sick spiritually and emotionally, and I care about those people, and I'm standing by their sides as much as I can to help them. I think that the main sickness of people in our generation is the low self-esteem. That people been criticized and been destroyed for years on who they are.
How does one figure out their purpose? Yeah.
I can tell you what I've done about myself. From the moment that I started to recognize that there is God, that there is a creator, I started talking to him as well. But the beginning was an inner conversation with my subconscious, with my deep thoughts, and I would write and I would talk to myself and I would just ask myself questions. What that you will choose to do with it, how to answer, is another thing. Now, when a person is being honest with himself and being brave enough to ask the real questions, like, who am I? What am I doing here? He will find the answers, because like I said, you can find out the truth. You can recognize the truth about yourself. Just people are too scared to ask, or maybe never been guided even to, never had that opportunity to ask themselves who they really are.
When you pray to God, how do you know you're actually praying to God and not just talking to yourself?
From my life experience and from the experience of many of my students and friends, I saw that when you keep on doing it a little bit, not like hundreds of hours, I'm talking about like 20 minutes, and in the next day another 10 minutes or something like that, but you are being consistent about it, you feel connected. Example, you can walk with a certain question in your mind, and suddenly a person will come and just gonna answer your question, and you look at that person like, where did you came from? If you will give it a chance, you will understand that you have many things in life that are coming like that in order, like there's a plan. You need a certain amount for your rent, for your mortgage, for certain payments, and you're stuck with no money for the first, and like only in the 29th it's coming, and like, why every time it's coming right before I need it? Why my life are getting always to the edge, and then I have my salvations, like, but you see that there's a pattern, that there is a certain power that is supervising on your life, that in the 15th or in the 1st, you receive the money, you do receive the answers that you need.
How often do you pray?
I pray 3 times a day, and I also have my individual prayer, except of the prayers that are written in the books. I also have my individual prayer. It's a simple conversation with the Creator. And I just spend an hour every day talking to Him in my language, just expressing my feelings and asking for my needs and praying for the things I want to take place in the world. I say try it.
Yeah.
You don't need to be, again, like I said, you don't need to be religion for that. You need to have a certain aspect of being a believer, like believe in the force, believe in unity, believe in the cosmos, believe in good energy, in the spiritual world. It doesn't matter how you're going to call it, as long as you believe that there is life from a divine source that are reviving our creation, like a human being, me, myself. I have a different soul than you. You have your spirit, and it's different than mine. It's not air. We're not living on air. We have a soul. We have a certain character, emotional body. We have an aura. We have something in us that is the source of energy of our life. And we must connect ourselves to it because it's our potential. Your true self is your character, is the light of your soul. Now, who you really are, that's the question. You should ask yourself. Every person should ask himself, who am I? When you will dare to ask that question, you'll find out so many great things about yourself. Suddenly you're gonna, hey, that's who I am. And it's fantastic. I'm Christian. Oh, I'm Jewish. Oh, I'm tall. Oh, I'm blonde. I'm nice. I'm rich. You're not all those tags. You're something deep. You have a meaningful life. You have an essence. You have a soul.
One of your videos went viral?
Viral compared to what? The answer is yes. But one of them was more viral than the rest. It's almost 100,000 views. And for us, it's huge. It's called Jewish Sex.
Jewish sex?
That's the video that went viral.
Okay. What do you talk about in that?
We're talking about peace in the house and how you should never force your wife to relationship unless she's willing and desiring it as much as you do. And the religious world is always trying to make things quiet and that no one will speak about it, that no one gonna talk about it. But like I told you, I'm very not mainstream, and I went wild against this quiet. And that video was very powerful, helped a lot of people to understand that it's okay to say no, and like to build relationships that are based on honor and on like dignity. Second one that went viral was the one that I was expressing my opinion about gays.
Yeah, what's the policy on that?
In the Bible it's written that it's not allowed, but to have like one sex relation, like one sex relationship in the same kind. But what that I explained in this video was that even though that there is a prohibition from the Bible that saying that it's not allowed, you cannot ignore from a certain person's feelings that he tells you, look, I cannot receive love from the other sex, and I feel warmed and loved only in this way. So you cannot tell that person, don't experience love, don't love and don't be loved. In the same time that we understand, okay, it's not legit, let's say, it doesn't written that it's okay, that it's allowed. The Creator himself decided to say no on that thing. Still, we cannot disqualify people's emotions just because that it's written that it's not allowed. People are human and people feel. You have people that they just love a person and it's an issue to respect and to understand and not to ignore.
If one of your kids left when they're, would that be a problem, or how would you handle that?
Every child that lives the path of his parents, for sure the parents, they feel a loss, right? For sure.
Yeah.
But to excommunicate your child or fighting with him or like whatever, it's like it's denying the nature of you of being a parent. Like a parent should love, should hug, should heal, should support his child, for sure.
Yeah.
Always. I feel that this is my mission, to help people to recognize the good inside of them and to allow themselves to express it. This is the main thing that I'm doing and willing to continue. When the spirit of Messiah will be revealed in the world, then those tribes will recognize themselves and will really know the nature of their creation and will come back to the promised land, to the land of Israel. That's going to be a huge thing to see.
When's that happening?
Okay, that's my next meeting.
It's is it soon or?
We don't know. No one knows.
Okay.
That's the like in reality, no one knows.
Right.
But the prophets mention certain dates that cannot pass another 230 years from now. So it can be earlier. It can be now, it can be tomorrow, it can be the next day, but not more than 230 years from now. Suddenly you find out that you are much deeper than you thought. You realize that you're more gifted and blessed than you imagined. And I'm just trying to let the real true colors of the world shine. Instead of painting it and plastering it and to redesign it, I just like, look how fantastic it is. I love it.
Yeah. That's good.
Thank you so much for allowing us and helping us,
of course,
to promote our activities through your wonderful channel, and it's amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
This cooperation is blessed by me.
Awesome. Let us know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Please check out Rav's info in the description, and I will see you next week.